So they threw her down. And some of her blood was sprinkled on the wall and on the horses. And he trode her underfoot.
Wait, not only did he have these eunuchs throw her down,
he gonna have his horse,
high fall because she hit the ground so hard, blood splattered on the wall. Then he turned around and took the horses and trode over her. That's how much hatred the Most High had. See, we see it as Jehu, we looking at it like he had, the Most High put that spirit on him. He raised him up. Remember, he was anointed. You know, when the Most High anoints you up in a position, he put a spirit on you to do a particular job. Remember, he took that spirit away from Saul when he repented for Saul being king. But when you put that spirit on you, man, that ain't just Jehu. You got to look beyond that. That's the Most High stomping her. But he said it. He said the dog's going to eat Jezebel. They ain't going to bury her. So now, after he done did this, watch this. Go ahead and read the next verse. Verse 34.
And when he was come in, he did eat and drink.
Like it was nothing. Done threw the woman out the window, rolled all over her, trampled her body up. She dead in the street. They go up in the house and they started eating and drinking.
And he said, go, see now this cursed woman and bury her, for she is a king's daughter.
And while he's sitting there eating and drinking, y'all go ahead and go see this cursed woman.
Wait, hold on. Do that again. Smack the lip.
Go ahead and go see this cursed woman here.
Oh,
she is a king's daughter. Go and bury her.
Came off a goat.
No?
Y'all go out there, go check, man. Go bury that girl, man. Oh, now she
crushed. She annihilated. What verse we stopped at?
Verse 34. Man. Came off the goat with it. That is funny. It's verse 35. And they went to bury her, but they found no more of her than the skull and the feet and the palms of her hands. Wherefore they came again and told him, and he said, oh, this is the word of the Lord which he spake by his servant Elijah the Tishbite, saying, in the portion of Jezreel shall dogs eat the flesh of Jezebel, and the carcass of Jezebel shall be as dung upon the face of the field in the portion of Jezreel, so that they shall not say, this is Jezebel. And that's literal.
That's literal. So that means,
goodness,
that the dogs came and only ate the rest of her flesh, the wild dog, and the only thing I left was the skull, and the hands. But then,
when the dogs defecate,
yeah, you ain't nothing
the bathroom.
Dung.
She gonna be left in that.
Nobody can come back and look at that and say, "Oh, that was Jezebel right there."
No,
and
that's
then, you know, over a period of time, dung goes back in the earth, and flowers and weeds start growing out of it.
That's crazy. I mean,
fertilizing it with her skull.
Now that's God. That I just want to say, that's God. That's who we claim. We claim we serve him. And people walk around here playing like he don't operate in the same manner. Like he don't visit the children of men and watch us and see, and from the highest places in government down to the poor man begging under a bridge somewhere. That's right. He see them seven eyes is throughout all society, and he will get things done according to how they need to get done. That's to uplift the righteous and get rid of the wicked. And that's just how it goes, man.
That's just how it is. So we see the end of Jezebel. We see how she died. And we see that she died violently because of her influential power. Her whoredom or her witchcraft, if we want to use words to keep bringing out that connotation. This thing is serious. Matter of fact, Solomon warned you about this type of spirit. Let's go into Proverbs. Proverbs. Okay. 31:3. We're going to start off, first of all, he warning you about those that are in position and power. Or when you got a little bit of strength.
31:3?
Yes, 31:3. And sisters, when you hear this, don't feel funny, because this ain't for the sisters that do good. It's for them slick mouth sisters, like Jezebel was. But he tell all you kings, rulers, those who have some strength, you ain't got to be a ruler. He's warning you this. Proverbs 31 and verse 3. One verse.
Give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings.
What destroyed Ahab? Listening to that Jezebel.
That's right.
The way that destroyed him was wickedness. If the woman was righteous and she gave him nothing but righteous counsel, we're not going to read the rest of Proverbs 31 chapter, but when we look at the virtuous woman, he said, she shall not do her husband evil all of his days, and so on and so forth. If she's industrious, yes, that's the one who you're not giving your strength to her. She is your strength. She becomes your strength. But then you get the ones like Jezebel, the different examples of how she was, the mentality she had. And your strength is gone.
And this was taught to Solomon, right?
Right.
If I'm not mistaken. So a king is being taught this.
Right.
So he being warned not to follow that.
By his mama,
pattern.
make it so bad. I mean, make it so interesting. His mama's telling him this.
Right.
Now, let's go into Proverbs, the 5th chapter. We're going to look at a couple Proverbs here. Because we want to get now an understanding of some of these Proverbs that Solomon was saying concerning when he tell you about the strange woman and different things of that sort. You know, we often read it on face value, and we tend to think of the lady of the night, the harlot, but we taking this thing into that spirit side of it. Proverbs, the 5th chapter, when you get it, pick it up at verse 1.
My son, attend unto my wisdom, and bow thine ear to my understanding, that thou mayest regard discretion, and that thy lips may keep knowledge.
You want to have understanding so your lips can have, so you can regard discretion. That's the first thing you need to pay attention to. Like the church of Thyatira, somebody would have to have discretion to see this woman coming up on the scene, to see this type of spirit coming up on these brothers and sisters that are trying to do good. And I'm learning something from the church of Thyatira. Every organization, every 2 to 3 brothers, every 2 to 3 sisters, all that have a mind to do good and to do that which the Most High commanded, the spirit of Jezebel will always come upon the scene and try to make her entrance. She's going to try to make her entrance through other opportunities that seem to be more beneficial than that opportunity. It is the spirit of Jezebel that will cause any of this good work to be looked down upon. Any of this good work to look inconvenient and to pinpoint every issue of why you don't want to deal with it, because the spirit of Jezebel, from what we're reading, have been all about selfishness and is always using a witchcraft of influential gain. We can use our influence to get gain rather than our collective working. But if I use my influence, I can't do that collectively with you. That may not be your same interest. So that means I have to separate myself, don't it? So now, but look, Proverbs the 5th chapter, when you get it, you read verse 1, right? So go ahead and read verse 3.
That thou mayest regard discretion, and that thy lips may keep knowledge.
From who?
For the lips of a strange woman drop as in honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil.
We're not talking the context of a literal physical woman here. We are talking about the nature of things. You got to be watchful. Mouth smoother than oil. Gonna say the stuff you want to hear. And it all blends so perfectly. Like the lip would tell it. But go ahead and continue.
But her end is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword.
Because there's always issues and problems. Once you take her the route of going about things, you always going to come into conflict. There's always going to be an issue or problem. Go ahead.
Her feet go down to death. Her steps take hold on hell. Wow. Lest thou shouldest ponder the path of life. Her ways are movable, that thou canst not know them.
If you do not ponder upon the path of life,
wow.
If you do not research and try to find what is life, according to this book, according to the way that we're supposed to deal with each other, you ain't going to be able to see her path. That's what he's telling you.
And if it's not a physical woman, then the death isn't necessarily physical.
Right.
Her, if she go down to the paths of hell, that means her ways are they serve the purpose of only killing everything that's pointing towards this is the path of life. No, that's not the path of life. This is. That spirit ends in killing all progress.
They do.
In righteousness. That's what I'm talking about.
Right, yeah. That's exactly right on point. Right on point with that, my brother. Go ahead and continue. Let's read more on this thing.
Hear me now, therefore, ye children, and depart not from the words of my mouth. Remove thy way far from her, and come not nigh the door of her house. Lest thou give thine honor unto others, and thy years unto the cruel.
And that's what he told you. That's what he warned you in the 31st chapter. Don't give your strength unto women.
Wow.
We're not talking physical women here. He said, that's what you're going to do. Your honor is going to be given unto other, and your years unto the cruel. Go ahead.
Lest strangers be filled with thy wealth, and thy labors be in the house of a stranger.
Because you're not working collectively with your family, with your brothers and your sisters. You're not collective as one. You're not pondering upon the path of life. You out there as an individual.
And everything we
following the great whore of Babylon. Because the great whore of Babylon, if we want to give her a name, we can call her Jezebel if we want to.
Right.
Because the same power she had is the same influential power we seen that Jezebel we just finished reading about. Except she's on a grand scale now. All the nations have become Ahab unto her. And all of the poor and the afflicted on the earth are Naboth. That's what she has become. So when you're an individual out here following under her, then guess what? You're going to work. You're going to try to get all your gains in her life. You're going to try to get all stacked. What she say is money and value, you're going to go out there and try to stack it. Right. And you're going to get it because you see the opportunity. And guess what? Once you get to a certain point, it's cut off. And all your wealth is going straight, dispersed among all your riches.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead,
a personal question. I don't want to know amounts. I just want to let you know what happened to me this year. I filed my taxes. I understood what I supposedly grossed. And after my federal and, you know, all that stuff, I see what I was supposed to have supposedly brought home. I was depressed. Looking at what I was supposed to have netted compared to what I may physically have in my hand at this moment. So what that let me know is my wealth that I worked hard for went somewhere to somebody else. It went, strangers have my wealth. And my labors are in the house of a stranger. I'm sorry. I'm being honest, because if any of y'all looked at your tax return and got 50% of what you, if you got 20% right now of the money you made this year, I applaud you. But if you don't, and them taxes was detrimental and coming back to your pocket, he what the thus saith the Lord.
He said detrimental. That's true. That is true.
So I just want to share that. So all y'all online, if y'all can identify with that, know what position we in right now.
Yeah. You have given your riches are going on to the strangers.
Critical of this capital.
Man, that is the truth.
I felt some kind of way about it. I got feelings right now. That's why it came out.
Don't feel bad, brother. Don't feel bad, brother. Every pay period.
I ain't got no dependents, man. It's over for me, y'all.
Yeah.
I don't get nothing. I ain't got no dependents. They send the kid back $200-300. Like, there you go.
Don't feel bad. What is this? All confidence in this great Jezebel system that we live in. Ain't nothing for the kid either. I look at that pay stub every week, and I want to share one tear at least. $200. I just don't, man. Hey, man. Don't.
But it's the truth, y'all. Coming together and seeking the path of life, is what I believe will cause our wealth to not just be in our labors and everything that come off of it. The majority of it is going to the house of people who you don't know.
Right.
If you can't go back to them like, oh, I'm late on something over here. Can y'all give me a little bit of that back? Who you going to ask for some of the money you done gave back over the past year?
Right.
Nobody. No one is helping you. Just remember that.
You be forever asking, who is FICA? But now, go ahead, read verse, what verse you stopped at?
I stopped at the end of verse 9. No, verse 10, the end of 10.
Okay, go ahead, continue to read on to 14.
And thou mourn at the last, when thy flesh and thy body are consumed.
Yeah, that's when everybody crying now. You was living it up when you was getting it, but now all of a sudden, when your flesh and your body consumed, now you whining and crying now. Go ahead, that's how she gonna get you. That's what she gonna take you.
And say, how have I hated instruction, and my heart despised reproof, and have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined my ear to them that instructed me.
You ain't want to listen.
I was almost in all evil in the midst of the congregation and
right.
assembly.
So, look, what would have caused a person to go all evil is because they decided to go running after Jezebel. Because Jezebel make you feel so good. She there to make you feel so good when you need her. Even if you ain't thinking about it. Jezebel make an opportunity. If you have $500 just drop in your lap. Oh, that feels so good. Don't matter, man. It just feels so good. That's how she plays. That's how she give with you. All you need, just a little handout. Now, let's go into the 7th chapter. But Solomon dealt with this thing extensively. I mean, I look at it like this. You know, we look at Solomon had 400 wives, 600 concubines, you know, and we stop there. All right, man had a lot of wives. But there's one thing I also understand is this, though. It's a lot of wisdom. I mean, I wouldn't personally want to be put in that position. That's a lot of headache. But that's a lot of wisdom you learn because different personalities, backgrounds, and different things of that sort, And then in the wisdom that the Lord gave him to sit back and see a common thread, that's how he's able to write these things. Solomon is writing about a woman. He's not necessarily writing about, okay,